when you think about, where OpenAI is today and how that, reality is compared to what you saw 7 years ago, how does that compare? And, what has surprised you the most in terms of, where the company is at, what's ahead?
Yeah. One of the things that I was aware of when I joined OpenAI is AI is kind of unique in the sense that it's this progression where at each point in the curve, there's some level of utility and usefulness of the system. So it's not like other hard tech companies or projects in the sense that there's more binary risk. So if you think about developing a drug, you think about building a quantum computer, a self-driving car, these things have some level of kind of binary risk. You either achieve a certain level of performance or you don't, and below that level of performance, functionally the thing is not useful. AI has this kind of compounding progressive utility, and I think the question that I had early on is, at what point do we cross a chasm of it being useful for people in the things that they want to do in their lives? And so in some sense, there was a bet on AGI as a vision, but then in other ways, there was almost a bet a little bit on how useful does AI become pre-AGI, and is that on the order of tens of billions of dollars of value, hundreds of billions, trillions? And so it's a little bit, it's trying to kind of read the exponential, but knowing that it's not just totally kind of, basically stepwise utility. And I think that was kind of the surprising thing for me, is how early AI became useful for people. Basically kind of GPT-3 was, I think, the first system that really became kind of productively useful in any environment, albeit very limited and narrow ways. And then GPT-4 kind of became this breakthrough moment where it was like, okay, the language models have now crossed the chasm to being able to support new companies, for example, building really useful new products and tools. And since then, it's obviously been a progression, and we've seen that across other modalities as well. And so that's kind of the amazing and cool thing I think about AI is, there's this super grand vision of being able to build super intelligence, but the path there is going to be this kind of exponentially increasing story of value and how it creates new products and services and things that we didn't think could exist even before you get to that point.